If you want to talk about awesome, riveting, big budget films that sound amazing, then you really have to talk about a guy named Richard King, who's a supervising sound editor at Warner Brothers Studios. And Richard has hundreds of movies in his credits, including The Exorcist and animations like Puss in Boots. But I think he's most well known for his movies with Christopher Nolan, which started with The Prestige and then Inception, Interstellar, Batman trilogies, and most recently the Dunkirk movie. His career has kind of been validated by 4 Academy Awards and only 6 nominations. And the directors he worked with are pretty extensive as well. Includes Tom Hanks, Clint Eastwood, Spielberg, of course Christopher Nolan, Peter Weir, and hundreds of others too. And he describes his work as working on a blank canvas, essentially. I think the reason he describes it like that is because he grew up a painter. He went to school at University of South Florida for painting. After that, he moved up to New York and actually found a gig at a film productions company that they did everything in the film world, and that's where he really got into sound editing. And from there, he decided he wanted to do that as his career and moved over to LA. I think my favorite part about his soundtracks are how visceral and emotional and story-driven that he makes them. And this is almost due to the sounds that he puts in. He uses almost 100% natural sounds, meaning he doesn't try to make synth-based sound effects, but he takes sounds from the real world and incorporates them brilliantly into films and creatively. And he describes it as building the world around the characters, which I think puts the audience more into the perspective of the characters and makes it a more vicarious experience. So his job really includes doing anything he can to get the sound effect that would fit what is on the picture. So sometimes he's editing and getting out of sound effects libraries. But a lot of time that includes going out into the field and recording your own sound and making it work, or finding a sound that would work. Another iconic sound that he essentially made up because they don't make it anymore was in Dunkirk. There's these things on a plane, on the German planes, called stuccos, and they were basically rotating sirens, and it had this Doppler effect, but they had destroyed them after the war, and so Richard King had a lot of trouble trying to find something that replicated it, so he essentially had to get an enormous metal sphere and put his own siren in and have a fan rotating and record that. Final thing that I think in the film world he might be most well known for is this ticking sound that he puts in a lot of his soundtracks, and it started in a Christopher Nolan film, The Prestige, where they have actual pocket watches. Just got this auditory, impending, threatening thing about it that audiences love.